Mulibwanji, everyone. Welcome to UmoyoTalks, the Umoyo podcast where we talk to interesting people about topics relating to health. And today in the studio, I have Wesley here, Wesley Litaba. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Kim.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
So it's my pleasure too.
So Wesley, he is an innovator specializing in food systems with a niche in creating platforms for multi-sectorial engagements. He has worked on global, regional, and local initiatives promoting what is termed as lost and forgotten foods. In 2017, Wesley finally decided to launch Africa Nature's Organic Foods with the aim of processing and promoting indigenous forestry foods so that they can be integrated into local diet and ultimately improve people's health. These foods include tamarind, various honey products, and of course the mighty Baobab, yes, which we're going to spend a lot of time talking about today. So welcome, Leslie.
Thank you once again, Kim.
So the first thing before we launch into talking about Baobab, maybe tell us a little bit about why you started your business, Africa Nature's Organic Foods.
Well, thanks, and I think you did give a very good background to who I am and what I've been doing. But I must hasten to say that if you look at the biggest challenges that we have at every household level in our communities or even within the urban areas is the issue of food security. And that translates into poor health, especially in children below the age of 5. And that has been proven with statistics that we as a country have struggled with poor nutrition. Our nutrition levels are quite very high. We're talking around 45%.
And a lot of our children apparently are stunted as a result.
They are
of it, yeah.
as a result of food. And not because we don't have this food, but because we have adopted practices that have taken our local foods off our diets. And that's the biggest struggle that we have. And that is why Africa Nature's Organic Food was set up to begin to reclaim those lost foods, our indigenous foods, to get back to our diets. That every child should not die from, hunger-related diseases, but that they can have access to all these foods, even for us as adults. I mean, if you look at the older people today in our villages and you start wondering how have they lived this far despite having diseases around, it's the kind of food that people have been consuming. And we would like to get this generation, especially the millennials, to begin to learn what our foods have been and how important these foods are, that they can be integrated. I mean, there are different ways of getting them, attractive. If you want them sweetened, we can look at that. But the whole idea is that we must give, credence to our local food systems.
I find also that we tend to eat a narrower range of food these days.
Well, I must say that that has been a bigger concern, but probably stemming from the days that Zambia started to produce, copper. A lot of people were moving from the countryside, going to the copper belt and seeking, of course, for bigger opportunities. And what you then find is that even the options of food began to reduce. And we were all kind of reduced to nshima. And if you ask people, did you have, if they had rice or had tea with sweet potatoes for lunch, and you ask, did you have lunch? They'll tell you, no, we just had tea with sweet potatoes. It's really what has caused us all these problems, because our diet and what comes on it has been shrunk to only mostly 2 things: your nshima, maybe meat, and sometimes not even vegetables on that diet. And it comes with a lot of consequences.
Absolutely. And then, of course, also now people eating more and more processed foods as well that we start finding in our supermarkets.
Well, that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, if you check our maize, for example, and you ask people, so what did you get out of it? It's just carbohydrates.
Yeah.
There's nothing more to it. I guess the biggest cry that we have around processing is to what extent these foods are processed and what chemicals, for example, are used. If I got raw sugar cane, I peeled it off and just ate it, it has more benefits than the white
Refined,
spoon sugar
absolutely.
that is refined. There's a lot that goes into it. But you find that whenever we feel we have so much money in terms of disposable income, we feel if I ate this kind of foods, I'll look like I'm an inferior person. And so a lot of developments have actually driven this trajectory around what you're eating and where you're buying the food from. And we feel it's fashionable, of course, to buy all these, highly processed foods. But what we get at the end of it is that there is nothing in it. So it's just food elements or just substances that we take that may not be very beneficial to our health. And that's what Africa Nature's Organic Food, working with different multi-stakeholder partners, including private sector and the consumers themselves, we want to bring this awakening that we have foods that can be processed in the traditional methods that have been existing for a longer time and still give you the best nutritional values. And that is what we need to. So if it doesn't appear pleasing to you, we were saying then, okay, let's innovate ways of packaging. How do we make it very attractive to you, but without losing the essence of the food values that food actually has?
The nutritional
values,
yeah.
Yes. But it's not just nutrition, it's also the medicinal properties that are in the food that we tend to lose because of how they are processed. And so we're saying we can retain all that with good processing methods, but also our consumption behaviors is the biggest thing that we need to deal with.
So one of the major foods that you deal with is, of course, baobab. What's the local name for baobab?
Mubuyu.
Mubuyu.
It has, but predominantly the Bantu word is Mubuyu.
Yes, and we have some baobab here.
Oh yeah.
Because there might be some people out there who might not be familiar about it. Maybe tell us a bit about baobab.
Well, so the younger generation may not know. And even some old people, we tell them about baobab. They're like, "What is it?
Yeah.
What is it?" Okay. So I grew up in Livingstone. I was born and bred in Livingstone, and at our homestead many years ago, there used to be a very big baobab tree, and we'd all gather there, tell stories, hear stories, and the interest for me, of course, stems from the very fact that we are such a country that is blessed abundantly with all these kinds of foods. But also then you realize that it's not only for my consumption, but that this food has a lot of benefits for the entire ecosystem. Let's talk about our land itself. Where you find baobabs, normally the water, table is quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this keeps water. But getting into what this fruit is that you may wish to know, our viewers, that this is a superfood. It was declared a superfood actually in 2009.
And what does that mean? What do we mean by a superfood?
So a superfood is a food that has all the elements that your body needs to survive.
Okay.
So you were talking of the vitamins, you're talking of the oils, the omega oils that you'd be looking at. You'd be talking about, the carbohydrates. You'd be talking about a lot of things that you'd normally get from eating, a bigger plate with different options. But this has everything that you need. Super also in the sense that it has healing properties. A lot of it, it's composed of calcium. And that's good for your bones. And I think we all know that as you grow up, the demand for calcium is very high, and you see people actually moving with tablets, supplements.
But of course, eating in a natural form, your body will be able to absorb and utilize
Yes, it will be.
better.
It's not difficult it's very palatable.
Yeah.
It can be eaten by all ages. So it's not food that you say, don't feed, children who are under this
It's a
age.
food.
It can be given to any person, regardless of their age. But I think let's talk about the interesting parts around what this baobab is in terms of what are the nutritional values. This is the only fruit world over that has a higher dosage of vitamin C.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
So, I mean, you see people going to buy vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams, and look at the price. But here's a cheaper option. It has everything that you need.
And once again, when these vitamins and minerals appear in nature, your body is going to be able to better absorb and utilize it than buying the ones that are made in a pharmacy or in a
and
lab
I think,
somewhere.
I find it interesting, especially when we were at the peak of COVID. You could have seen how pharmacies and chemists, for example, ran out of vitamin C.
Yeah.
Everybody was going to buy, regardless of the price.
Yeah.
They bought. And, that desperation comes also because we are not probably exposed to a lot of knowledge around this. And that's what our company seeks to do. Not only to sell the product, but to also provide credible information. Information that has been researched, information that can be backed by evidence. We have a number of pharmaceutical societies, especially in Southeast Asia, that have invested so much in researching this. Even here in East Africa, Makerere University have done quite a lot of studies around Baobab in Kenya as well. So we're saying that this is a fruit that has all the benefits that we need, can be used for health reasons, can be used as cosmetics, for cosmetic reasons as well. You can also use it just in the food and beverage industry. And we've seen quite a number of products coming out of here.
And is this just an African superfood, or do you find it elsewhere in the world as well?
Well, it's an African superfood.
It is.
It grows in Africa, of course, including Madagascar, which is part of Africa.
Yeah.
So it's an African thing, and it's something that we must always celebrate. But in terms of consumption, it goes beyond the oceans.
Yeah.
And funny enough that we seem to have it, and of course producing it, but we're not consuming as much as the people across, in other continents. And if you look at the demand right now, there's been estimations that have been done that by 2024, this baobab alone will be worth $50 billion in the US markets. And where is it coming from? It's coming from Africa.
And it's just growing in the wild.
Well, it's growing in the world, but also it presents an opportunity for our communities, our small entrepreneurs to launch into processing this. If you go in the supermarkets right now, you get a lot of products that are blended with baobab, be it chocolate, it could be juices, even medicines. I mean, you find there are now capsules made of baobab. It just tells you how much demand and potential that we have. And that's an opportunity that we all need to get into. But of course, to do it the right way and not what is happening. And I'm sure we'll talk about what is happening.
We'll get into that. But first, let's just have a look at this baobab here. So maybe explain, this one has been broken open. What is inside here then? All
right, so you have, now let me also just quickly say that you don't need to throw away anything from this fruit. You can consume, you can make use of it. So you have the hard outer shell that of course has fur to protect it, of course, as it grows. Now this hard shell is quite rich in iron. And we have people struggling actually with anemia in this country, be it sickle cell anemia or just, anemia because of malaria and these other diseases. And so if you look at the prices of, for example, these blood boosting medicines, quite high and out of reach, but you can actually make use of this. So all you need to do, crack it, boil it.
The outer shell.
Yeah, the outer shell.
Yeah.
You can boil it.
In water, just boil it in water.
Just in water, nothing else, just in hot water. Let it cool.
How long would you boil it for?
Well, just 30 minutes
will
be enough. And then you should be able to have a solution that
so
you'll
you
be able to...
you sieve out the hard shell and then you drink the water?
Yes. So what we normally do, you can just boil it hard as it is, or we would crush it for you.
Okay.
You get it as a powder so that it's easy to mix.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what you have. And then inside here, you have, before we come to the fruits, you have these fibers. These fibers are also very, very good. They're quite very healthy. If you don't have the hard shells, you could actually get your blood supplement from these fibers. For people that have anemia, like we said, and any hemorrhages, you could actually make use of this. So they supply, of course, all the nutrients to the seed. Now, let's come to the seed because that's the most interesting part of this. And I must be able to say that there's a lot of products that we make from just this baobab. In fact, from research, you can make 83 products from here.
That's phenomenal, yeah.
83. And I mean, I've seen women go to all these spas and they're buying all these products. And it's interesting to note that a lot of what is contained in that is actually baobab. Vitalite, for example, Italy is a very big, global company, and they've been looking at getting supplies from here. They actually get from Zimbabwe, and we're saying, then we also have an opportunity to tap into that market.
For cosmetics?
Yeah, for cosmetics.
Yeah,
for cosmetics.
And I know you also make like a charcoal-like substance.
Yes, we can. Oh, talk about charcoal today. I mean, if you look at the price of charcoal, it's beyond even our local people. A bag that we used to buy for 50 kwacha a year ago is now going for 230. And not only the price, we're struggling with deforestation in this country. And we're saying, look, we have an alternative. We could actually get entrepreneurs to process charcoal and burns for a longer time. It's very effective.
From the outer hard
Yeah,
outer
just
shell.
from the outer shell. And we've tried that and we've proven that you can actually produce very good charcoal. So we need to get, our consumers to believe again that you could have actually charcoal not from the tree, but from some of these byproducts, and that's what you have. So your seed has a white, part. This is all calcium. I must say, very high in calcium, very high in vitamin C. It has a tart taste. Sometimes may not sit well with your teeth. But what we do is that we crush it. We're able to remove just the white outer part and process it in such a way that it becomes very palatable and can sit well with your teeth. I must say that from just this seed, we are able to make 6 products. And that is interesting. So you can see that from this just one pod, there's a lot more that you can do. And for people that are struggling with how do I raise money, my farming business is not going well, let's start farming trees. Let's farm generational trees. These are not just trees that you're going to use, but your entire generation as a family.
So at the moment, baobab is not being farmed, right? It's just
well,
out
for
in the wild.
Zambia, we are not farming it, but for regions like in West Africa, Mali is farming. Senegal is farming. Madagascar itself is farming. And there have been a number of initiatives where people have started to invest. I must say that these are long-term investments.
Yes, because I did some research and I found that when you plant a baobab tree, it can take up to 20 years before you get fruit.
And I've heard people complain.
Yes.
No, I will not even benefit. And that is a problem.
Oh.
We need to deal with poverty for many generations to come. And it starts with us beginning to reason and say, I'm not doing it for me today. I'm doing it for my family into the future. So we need to invest in this. There are, of course, trees that you can plant today, and within a few months, you are harvesting, moringa, it's also good. But let's have a mix that you are able to get value for your investment.
But to start with, we have a lot of trees in Zambia.
We have a lot of baobab trees in this country. Of course, been affected by changes in the climate. Also, our behaviors. I've seen I don't know, Kim, if you've seen in the countryside, a number of these baobab trees are actually peeled off. People go to get the bark, which is okay. It regenerates, but there's been a tendency of killing trees in this country. People kill trees, and I've seen it. Talked to a few people. But
for what purpose?
Well, setting up a farm.
Okay,
I've seen people clear off big trees, and sometimes they've cleared off trees that actually are supposed to support their water systems. Talk of the fig tree, and this is what is happening. So we have a lot of them. There's been a lot of construction, for example, in Mumbwa, Namwala, where we've lost quite a number of these trees. Even on the Kafiwe Mazabuka Road, there used to be a very nice baobab tree, and you don't see it anymore because it was cut off.
And these trees are pretty phenomenal also because they can grow for thousands of years.
Yes, they can, but also that they've been used as spaces for trade, spaces for gatherings in the communities. People gather under a baobab tree. But that it adds, beauty to your environment because it stands out, among the trees. It's not just this small tree, but it's a tree that brings, other animals, for example. They'll come and get shelter. They'll hide in there. And even during these wars, the Bantu wars, people were actually hiding in the baobab trees. If you check around, they have hives and people will be able to sit in there. So we've taken advantage of the values that this fruit has, and our whole business is actually centered around bringing value to it, but also getting people to benefit from the health benefits that it has. So there's a lot more that we can do, and we've tried to prove that. And I must say that from 2017. We've been successfully running our business just on two major products, the baobab and tamarind, but also we brought in honey really to promote a culture of protecting our trees. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about some of the food products that you can make with baobab and that you are currently making.
Okay, so we have.
I've got a few examples.
Yeah, so we have the Baobab Coffee, and for you, our viewers, and I've talked to a few people like, coffee? And I'm like, no, you are used to Arabic coffee. So you can make coffee from any, seed, as long as you're able to roast it. You can make from soya beans, you can make from even cotton seed.
But how do you make this Baobab coffee?
Well, now I hope I'm not revealing secrets that will be kicked out of business because everybody will be doing it. So what we have here is actually 100% seed, roasted and grounded very well. I'm sure, Kim, you have tested.
Oh, absolutely.
This.
It's in my cupboard at home. Yeah. And it's very easy to use. You just take a teaspoon with
so
some
it dissolves
hot water.
the same way your coffee, your regular coffee, and your hot chocolate would dissolve. But the difference with this is that it does not have caffeine. So people say, then why take it? Because I want energy from taking coffee. And this is what I want to address with you, our viewers, is that your energy must be able to build gradually in your body. So you don't have to get energy, boom, 8 hours, you are okay. After 8 hours, you appear like, a flat tire. But this has more benefits. For people that have gout, struggling with gout, you can take this, arthritis, you can take, and these are actually proven. You can research more on that. So we are not just offering you coffee as in coffee, but we're offering you a healthy product that you can enjoy. The aroma is very, very nice. And you can add milk to it or take it as it is. For people that are seeking health options and need to make a decision, you could actually go for this.
But I will say to viewers, if you are an avid coffee drinker and you switch to this, it doesn't really taste like coffee. So it takes a little while to get used to the taste, but it certainly is a very nice, rich taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we have here. We also have the whole fruit mix powder,
Yeah.
which you have here. So this powder is made from the entire seed. Nothing is separated.
So you have the nutritional benefits of both, the
Yes.
white part and the seed
so
inside.
from the white powder, of course, you have mostly the vitamins, but from the seed, you also have the oils, you have the proteins that are embedded in here. So you have a whole complete, powder that you can use. For a few that have taken it, they've liked it. But I know that a lot of people prefer the white one because they want that taste. But I'm saying to you that, look, it has a lot of more benefits. And for those that take porridge in the morning, you could cook it just directly as a porridge, or you could take it as a shake. And I've seen that there's now a culture of people wanting to take, healthy foods, a lot of them imported, and they've said, look, they may not be as healthy as you think, but we are providing you a healthy product. You can add it to your oats. You can add it to your muesli in the morning. You can...
And you can even add it to some hot water and have it as a beverage.
You can take. And once you take this in the morning, I can assure you can run the whole day without going to look for a shima. Yeah, I've been off shima for some time, and I take this in the morning. I carry it in my bag whenever I have an opportunity, wherever I am. I'll just quickly make and take it. Yeah. It's very good food, and that's one of the products that we have. We have the fine white powder. I don't know if you've been able to bring it. So, and I must say you package it very well.
Oh, thank you.
Looks very attractive.
So here you have removed the pip from the inside, and it's just the
just the white, the fine white powder. That's what you have. You can use it for baking. You can use it for marinating, for people that love to marinate your food. You can try it on your fish, on your chicken, on your beef. You can actually marinate. You could also make juice out of it. I know if you go in the local communities, they'll tell you, we make ice blocks out of it. And it's very good. And so we're encouraging that people can consume. So you see that from one seed, there's a lot more that you can actually make. And for cosmetic purposes, you could actually use it as a mask.
Okay.
So you mix it with plain yogurt, and then you can... I wish I could demonstrate, but I'm sure you viewers...
You just put it on your face, leave it for a while.
And leave it for a while and wash it off after some time, maybe an hour or so. Yeah. It's very, very good. Opens your pores.
Especially because of that vitamin C as well. Yeah.
Opens your pores as well, but it's just very good for your health. And people struggling with acne, I've always said, try these products. They could actually help change your skin, or improve your skin rather. Yeah. So that is one of the products that we have. We also make juice. We have Baobab juice. I love this drink. And for people shifting. Now, one interesting thing, do you remember, I think one of the World Cups, I don't know, it should be 2010, Pepsi, for example, ventured into diversifying, and they made Pepsi made out of Baobab.
Oh, I missed that one. Oh, wow, okay. Interesting.
They spinned in a lot of money. There's a bigger shift among our consumers towards healthy foods. And for us as a country, we can actually grow these, orchard industries and begin to produce some of these drinks. And the taste, I'm sure you've taken it. It's very, very nice.
And the wonderful thing is that it's packed with nutrition, and because it's made from the white powder as well, you have all that fiber in there.
Yes.
So it keeps you full. It actually
so
fills
for
you up.
people also struggling with, stomach problems, ever bloated, constipation, you could actually take this and it would improve your gut health. And that's what we need to be emphasizing on. But you could also make it in terms of mixing with your teas and everything else that you are taking at home. But maybe what we must emphasize here is that we need to think health and look towards our local solutions. And I must say, Kim, that COVID did kind of awaken us to the realities that we have actually broken food system, highly dependent on the imports, and we saw what happened. A number of these foods that we import were not on the shelves to today. And so should we then say we're going to starve? We heard of all this hunger being talked about, of course, DMMU responding, but we're then saying, are we relating the lack of maize to hunger? No, we shouldn't. We have a lot of foods that we must embrace. If it means that we need to propagate the seeds and grow more, we need to invest in that. We have all these resources that could assure us of a sustainable food basket that every one of us would enjoy, but not just enjoying filling up our tummies, but enjoy because it will push down significantly our health bill.
So I
these
know
foods have health.
with, it's a fantastic superfood, and I agree with you 100%. We need to get people more excited about
Yes.
it, and it's something that's on our back's doorstep that we can all access. And we have a lot of baobab trees in Zambia, yet I know with Umoyo, sometimes we struggle, even us, to find enough baobab for the local market. What's going on there?
I'm glad that you have asked that question because that's one thing that we've been struggling with. And I must say, much as we appreciate that everybody wants to get into this business, when we started with tamarind, kawawasha that people know, it's always been there. But immediately we started to commercialize. We saw everyone going for it and buying, and they didn't care the standards. And this is one thing that we are worried also with baobab. We have enough baobab, but it's just that, there's a bigger rush for people to make money. We've seen people from the cities going into the villages, giving people clothes, food, just to be able to get it. And our people are harvesting this baobab before it is ready. And what it is doing is that it's creating an artificial shortage in the market because a few people are then holding on to this commodity, which is not supposed to be the case. So we spent the last 1 year, of course, working with stakeholders to try to engage with the communities. But I think what we may need at the end of the day is kind of policy decisions, recommendations that we could make that this market gets regulated. Regulated for the very reasons that it is the current harvesting methods are actually threatening the ecosystem to a very greater extent. We are harvesting before it is ready, and what we have seen, for example, with edible caterpillars, vinkubala, is that people cut a tree to just get those worms. So we are seeing this trend growing also for tamarind as well, where people now are beginning to cut the tree just to be able to get that fruit. And much as it's providing incomes, we are then saying we are actually destroying the entire environment. We may not have these trees. So we are also investing, and that's what you've seen. We've been reluctant. We're not going at the pace that everyone in this business is going on, because we are not just driven by the motivation of money. We are driven by the motivation of environmental stewardship. And that's what our company has been all about. We went into this business to tell people that you could actually get sustainable livelihoods from your environment. And that means that we need to invest in protecting those resources. So our communities have to really change. I know we all want money, but what is this money if tomorrow the tree will not be there? What is this money if tomorrow you have nowhere else to source this fruit and many others from? And so our message also to those that are getting into this sector is that please let us ensure that we provide enough for our communities to protect those resources.
And also to the end consumer, if you don't allow the fruit to properly ripen,
Well,
then
you-
it won't
you-
have all the nutrients in
It
there.
will not have, and you may be actually harvesting a poisonous fruit.
And for a consumer, how would you know if it was harvested early?
Well, so I'll give you an example of is it this one? This was harvested early. It still looks very green if you look at it. The fur is still completely covered. So this was harvested early. It's probably dried over time inside. But if you open it, I can assure you that the moisture is still very high inside here. This is harvested, of course, within good time. The seeds are are quite dry inside, and if you shake it, you get this sound. And then if you look at the outer layer, you can tell the difference. The still looks very yellow. This is graying because the fur is dry. And one of the things that we have said is that if you go to the market right now, Kim, and I can assure you, you want to buy Baobab, you're not buying it from me, you want to buy from the market, you can buy it. But what you will get are these small Baobabs, packed, and there will be nothing you do with them because they are not ready for even processing. And so what we are saying to our people who are harvesting, and we're training, we've started training some of these communities. It's expensive, I know, but we have no option. We need to train them in harvesting techniques, in food handling, so that you are not buying dirty. You are buying food that is clean. You know, food that is contaminated has a potential to wipe you out. It's poisonous. I mean, it has a lot of contaminants that may not be very good for your health. So we've been advising, and if you look at the baobab that we've been actually selling, it's well dried and it's ready for consumption, but that you can be able to do more with it. Yeah. So what we're struggling with, you even as a company, it's not that there isn't enough baobab, it's that people have gone in and they want to hold on to this product and create an artificial shortage for the very reasons that they want to maximize and make more money out of you and out of us. And we're saying, look, you can still go ahead, but we want to establish a market that will be respected. And we've gone into this business not just to rip off customers. No, we don't do that. We provide a product that you'll be happy with, but a product that will give you benefits. We have ethics, and we have actually applied for membership from one of the Baobab Alliance organizations. And the idea is that we can improve on our systems, we can improve on our standards, and that we can also benefit from the global rich knowledge that is shared with bigger industry players, especially in Senegal and Madagascar. And that's what this company comes with. So we may not be out there in the market with spreading our products all over. No, we are ethical business people, and we just want to remain as such, but also that we want to be known for protecting our environment. And I think that's what is very key.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, I have a question for you. When I was in Siavonga last time, the kids along the road would come to me and say, Madam, buy the baobab. This one's sweet, this one's sweet. And I always thought, like, how do they know that their baobab is sweeter than the person next to them? And is it so that some trees produce sweeter baobab than others?
Well, there could be a number of variations, depending on the region as well. But I think it all boils down to how it was harvested, when it was harvested, and how it has been handled. You could have a very good product, but because of poor handling, you may not get actually the sweet.
So what would be poor handling? How should it be handled?
Well, it's one of the biggest things we struggle with, even in the agriculture sector, is a post-harvest handling. How do you store it? These products, I must say that they must be stored under a dark environment so that they're not exposed to too much heat. But what you see is that a lot of our foods on the roadside are sold in open, hot areas. Just like moringa, for example, when you're drying it, you dry it under a dark shade and you keep it under that. So that is one of the things that we're looking at. And we are emphasizing to the people that are harvesting for us that don't be in a rush. But of course, you know, you want to serve the person who has the money right there and then. And that's why we want to work towards policy recommendations, that we start getting regulations. And we've hinted to a few colleagues in the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources that we need to quickly move to protect this. Now, for one reason also, that the EU market, for example, is demanding a lot of baobab from Africa. The US market, even in the times that the whole country, the whole world was hit by COVID, we saw USA and the EU countries bringing in a lot of baobab into their countries. So that is, pushing a lot of demand around here. And should Zambia then benefit from these export opportunities, what we'll likely see is an invasion of our trees by unscrupulous traders, and 5 years down the line we may not have anything to sell. And one of the things that we're also now thinking of is to do plantations, get communities to plant these trees and many others that we can be harvesting and selling out there. I'm glad, and I must mention that government has done some investment in Katete, for example, with IDC setting up a fruit factory. And we're hoping that our brothers and sisters in the Eastern could actually explore those opportunities and begin to process these for export as well. We stand a very bigger chance to feed the rest of the Southern Africa market as Zambia, and we have that capacity. And all we need to do, put systems in place, build the infrastructure, and be able to export. And I must say that Zimbabwe, Congo, remain one of our biggest markets for some of these foods. And so we could actually get more money for our investments within our communities. Yeah.
So if people want to learn more about what you do and your products and baobab and all these other foods that you also deal with, like tamarind and honey products, how can they get in touch with you, Wesley?
Okay, so we have a website that of course we've suspended now because we want to take care of the new features, the new business, thinking. So we kind of rebranding, and we'll have it up and running. But we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram. You can search for us. It's Africa Nature's Organic Foods, or just Nature's Organic Foods. You'll be able to find us. And what we've done there is just to keep providing as much information as we can to our consumers, but also to ignite, a passion and interest in people to begin to take up most of these foods. We participate in the Lusaka food market. On the 29th of this month, we'll be taking part in the exhibition. We've done a few exhibitions, and I must say that the response has been very, very good. You could also get me, busy as I am, but I can find time, and I do find time actually to respond to our customers on 09 666 77198, 09 666 77198. And so what we normally do is, before we sell you this product, we explain and give you the information. I've gotten people asking, I want to buy this, and I'm asking, why do you want it? So that we kind of explain how you must consume it, when you must consume it, and that you get the value for buying it. So we are investing a lot in knowledge, and we are hoping that we get a consumer that is more enlightened on these products and can make a decision to actually buy and consume them. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Wesley. The work that you're doing, it's extraordinary, and we wish you all the best.
Thanks, Kim.
And we hope we can continue to buy lots of baobab going forward. How do you see your future, the future for Africa Nature's Organic Foods?
Well,
what is next?
What is next is actually an exciting future. First of all, Kim, I must appreciate your company, Umoyo, for partnering with us. And I must say that the last 1.5 years has been very exciting to get our product and our brand alongside what you are doing. And I see that, I mean, I go around your shops and silently just check who's buying, and you see that there's a lot of growing interest from our consumers to want to buy these products. I'm saying the future is exciting because we want to create a sustainable environment for this resource in our communities, but that we can provide healthier solutions for our consumers, that you should be able to get these healthy foods at an affordable price and at a place closer to your home. We are hoping, and we're still working around home deliveries, that we can deliver these products to your home state. But also what is also exciting is that we are currently undergoing the Good Food logo process, and we're hoping that that will come on our labels, that you are then guaranteed that you're buying something that is very, very healthy. We're seeing ourselves getting into the international markets, and COVID-19 has provided that opportunity. We're doing a number of other products like neem, fetching very high on the international market right now. And we're hoping that we can invest more in innovations, technological innovations, and start selling online. We're receiving a lot of our payments right now through mobile money platforms, and we're hoping that our farmers and our people harvesting can also tap into this. So the long and short of it is that the future is exciting, and we are ready to provide you with healthier food solutions. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming through today, Wesley.
Grateful,
it's been
Kim.
a pleasure.
Pleasure is mine too.
And to all our viewers and listeners, thank you for tuning in. We wish you a fabulous day. Go out there and live your best life. And until next time, bye.
It's Baobab. Bye.